those kids.
This is gonna be a party you'll never forget. Hi, everybody.
Eddie, Barney, come on in.
How's that for a birthday cake, Barn? Oh, looks like that caterer is right on the ball, Fred. It's a beaut.
Sit next to Pebbles, Bam Bam.
I wish I understood baby.
Yeah, maybe we're missing a good joke.
Okay, Fred, start the party.
Right, sweetheart. All right, let the show begin.
Presenting the Alligators Ragtime Band, Lost Hill.
Kind of a swinging group for a kid's party, but I guess the caterer knows what he's doing.
Fred, look! Coming out of birthday cake, dancing girls, millions of them.
Oh, the bowlerette, something's gone wrong. Boy, oh boy, we never had anything like this when I was a kid.
Hush up, Barney.
Fred, what's the meaning of this?
As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. This way, girls.
All right, Fred, you'd better start explaining.
Well, I gotta get the kids started on the game. I wonder where Rocco the Clown is. He's supposed to run this show. Here, kids, we're all gonna play pin the tail on the dinosaur.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Flintstone.
You're welcome, Harvey.
I got a pair of jacks. 3 queens. 4 aces.
Fred, they're playing poker.
Sorry, kids, the game's over. Don't worry, Wilma, I'll get rid of it.
Good morning. Who knew? I'm sitting there playing that. Ah, that sucks. Give me a second. And it gave me a notice down at the bottom of my screen saying make sure you have permission to play this or you'll get a copyright violation. Who knew that I couldn't play a Flintstone cartoon on here? So I had to stop. We were getting ready to play. That was all a lead up to Pebbles' birthday. It's Pebbles' birthday in the month of January. So all of you that had, I was about to get Tina Turner there, Herb. So all of you that had birthdays in the month of January, don't do it now. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. But some of you sent, oh, geez, I'm in trouble. Okay. I got it. Some of you sent your address in to Niframama like we asked. And those of you that did, all of your boxes have been taken care of, labeled, taken care of, and they will be going out today. Happy birthday, January babies. Happy birthday, January babies. There were a lot of you. Happy birthday to the January babies. I need to beg forgiveness. But I'm not going to tell you what I need forgiveness for until there's more likes up here. Let me know when you're ready to hear what I need forgiveness for. Once there's about 30 likes. 45 people, I don't think it's unreasonable to have 30 likes. I'm begging for forgiveness here. Hands clasped, filled with humility. Begging for forgiveness. Oh, there's enough people there to ask for forgiveness for now. Well, why don't I just show you? Why don't I just show you? Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Or blame the snow. How about blaming the snow? Whiskey? Let's blame the snow. Jeez. Let's blame Martin Luther King. I love Martin Luther King, but I'm blaming him. Okay, 2 things we gotta blame.
Holy crap!
Right?
That's a lot!
Get out of here, you little rat. I just ratted myself out. Get out of here. Yep. Martin Luther King. Whew. Snow on Saturday. Herbie, snow on Saturday. Can I show you guys something? Let me show you something. I still have to get a snow. Look, let me show you something. That's my car still snowed in. I still have to get a dog sled here. I'm still waiting. We're going to have a dog sled here today. It's going to pull up out front. We're going to load those packages on. Penny, I couldn't leave the house. I'm snowed in. Snowed in urban Detroit. Hip kitty, meow. I'm actually going to wear a backpack and walk to the post office today. Snowshoes. It's not, I can't do that. I can't let those sit there like that. 412 packages, and every single one of you is, hey, Pops, I saw you wrote the, label, but it says the tracking hasn't moved. And I'm like, yeah, duh. This is one of those times the tracking truly has not moved. Okay? Anybody got a 4x? Anybody want to swing by Pop's house and pick up the 412 packages? One of them's yours. Okay? One of them's yours, I guarantee it. Okay? Stop checking your tracking. It'll tell you right now. Pop's house. Pile. That's all it says. Okay? That's all it says. Pop's house. Pile. And then, you can check it as often as you want. Oh, you know what? This is the truth. I'm confessing. Confession. Good for the soul. So my soul is going to feel better after this. It's a lot of pressure. It really bothers me to have packages sitting there already written, packed, labeled, your check and tracking, and it's sitting in a pile at my house, covered in the snow. It's not fair, and I hate it, and I'm sorry. If it weren't for Martin Luther King, I would have crawled through the snow backwards, uphill, naked yesterday to deliver the packages. But since Martin Luther King wanted to have a dream, well, he popped my balloon. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I got a whole bunch of packages there for all of you guys that are ready to go out. All you people that won prizes last week, ready to go. All you people that made orders. You know what? The good news is that's just orders since Friday. So if you ordered anything Thursday, I think we mailed it. But that's stuff that's sitting there since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's a 4-day pile, a 4-day stackaroo. 4-day stack of felonies. And there's extra felonies in there. Remember the sugar cubes? They're in there. It's like Hey, you know how we like to play Jeopardy here? Well, I love the double Jeopardy round. So I figured if we're going to play felony, well, let's play double felony. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to go play double felony today. All right. Getting close to final felony. I mean, Jeopardy. Oh. Yeah, the sugar cubes are all still in there. Not one is mailed because I got all the orders on Friday. And so I planned on sending them Saturday, obviously, mailed Saturday. And then Saturday we got snowed in. Sunday, Monday, boop, boop. And then here it is Tuesday. As far as Elvis goes, we're looking to restock because you guys are a bunch of stoners. Okay? You guys are a bunch of stoners. We're having a new look at a new thing. Sugar cubes was one way to go. Gel tabs is another way to go. We're looking at some gel tabs. We'll get back to you guys on that. Anyways, good morning. I won't say much more about Martin Luther King than most people already have said. And he's a fatally flawed character in history, just like any human. And that's one of the things I think I like the most about the man. Because if you want to, you can discuss his flaws. But who wants to? There's a lot of power in one single human being that had a vision. And I'm not going to tell you, you need to understand something. He worked hard at what he did. Sleeping in motel rooms, never getting home, family issues, breaking down. But he had a bigger vision. And I'm sorry, any of you that, it's just I'm just one person. I don't know, I can't make a difference. You need to start checking history. You need to start checking history. Okay? History's where you're going to find out that, right, Calico Kid, all of our historical figures, but it isn't about their flaws. It's about rising above their flaws. It's about the things they did despite their flaws. And just believe. I get so tired of hearing people say, I'm just one person, I can't make a difference. Really? How many subscribers do we have here? Not making a difference? Just one person? 1 becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 50, becomes 1,000,000. Don't focus on the flaws. Don't focus on the flaws. Because that's what humans were taught to do. That's linear thinking. Let's get some mycology going today. Anyways, happy birthday a month for everybody. That was fun putting those packages together. There's a whole bunch of, if you guys had turned in your birthday dates to Niffer, one of those boxes in the pile comes out to you. And we'll probably do that again for February. I'm not doing add-ons, so you have to be paying attention and get in while the getting is good. Okay? But it's just a way to celebrate. In a way, it's a way to celebrate. I'm better at giving than getting. Is there anybody else out there like that? It's easier to receive than to give. No, the other way around. It's easier to give than to receive. I get all shy when I receive. I get all, what's the appropriate level of gratitude? Right, Higgs? I get shy. I'd rather give. I mean that with all my heart. Especially because, Bill, we're giving of excess. I'm not giving you my gas bill. Can't pay my gas bill, but I'm going to be so generous. Not doing that. Making sure I pay my gas bill first. But after that, I have a little left over. There's some fruit in the bottom of the bag. What are you going to do with the fruit in the bottom of the bag? Oh, I'm going to hoard it. I'm going to charge top dollar for it. How many bags do you think you're going to get like that? Giving feels good when you start really getting into it. And so that's why I'm like, my birthday, I feel like giving. I was the most selfish little kid. I also think I told you guys about the time my mom forgot my birthday. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember that story? I'll wait till like my birthday and cry and tell the story to you guys. Who remembers the story about my mom forgetting my birthday? Higgs remembers. It was like, I'm not even joking. That's still one of those tragic things that stayed with me and was personality forming in its own weird way. I'll tell the story next week about Pop's forgotten birthday. I was turning 12. No, I was turning 13. I was going to be a teenager. And they forgot my birthday. I'll tell the story next week. It'll help me another year's worth of therapy. Don't do me a favor, moms, dads, whatever you do, don't forget your kids' birthdays. No. You don't understand the long-term effects. The potential long-term effects. Not worth it. I'm not even saying you have to make a big deal out of it. But don't long-term affect them. Okay? Just because you didn't remember. Before we do spores, this last week, because I haven't been able to monitor the grow house as closely as usual, most of it's on auto set, but I still monitor it 2 to 3 times a day. But I haven't been able to, obviously, because of snow, post offices, packages. No, I haven't been able to. And that's my excuse. Got over there Saturday, right before we really got snowed in. And took a picture. I have one shelf of bags. Each shelf holds 12 bags. One shelf will hold 6 bags in the front row and 6 bags in the back row. So if I have a shelf of a rack, one shelf holds 12 bags. Went in there, I'm looking. I'm like, it's close to harvest time on the ghosts. Is this interesting? Is anybody interested in what I'm about to show them? Right? Billy D's back. Bridgie, you have a good day. Tell your son we said hey. I'm getting ready to show you guys something. It's probably a problem a few of you have had before. Okay, here we go. So I get over there, and I had one shelf, 12 bags. Billy D's on oxygen, but he's here. I'm sure glad you're here, Bill. Seriously. We talked about you last week. Behind your back, but it wasn't gossip. I posted a picture of these beautiful fruit on Instagram. They were beautiful until they were abused. We lost track. We didn't pay as much attention to these as we should have. The caps split open on them. Is that going to hurt them? No. There's one way it could hurt them. We're going to have to look at why. And we're going to talk to you about that. But this cap splitting business, that was avoidable. Avoidable. Let's talk about that. What causes that? What causes our caps to split? There's 2 or 3 things. There's one that's an automatic avioso. And then there's a couple that it's going to take a little bit of, if that's the cause, and I think I have a combination. There's a couple that I can't be fixed. Split or cracked mushroom caps, main reasons and how to fix them. Interesting? Give me 10 people, 5, give me 5 people that say, let's talk about split caps. Stems do the same thing. Stems do the same thing. This is, who hasn't experienced some kind of a split cap situational? Okay, hey, let's talk about splitting. You're not splitting tea, okay? Snake, at the end of the day, Snake asked one question, is it bad for them to split? Not really. However, once you have a split situation on a fruit, you've increased the opportunity for that fruit itself, that splitty, to get contaminated. And you'll see it. We're going to discuss this here briefly. You'll actually, in the cracks of the split, you can look in there, and if you see little black dots or you see little tissues starting to form, your caps and wherever else are starting to contaminate. So that's something. Whereas that wouldn't have happened had there been no split at all. So the split increases the opportunity for them to get attacked. Split or cracked mushroom caps can occur in any active or edible mushroom species. The main cause is humidity. It's a lack of humidity in the bag, in the tub, in a micro grow chamber, whatever it is where you're trying to capture and maintain 90% humidity and above, you're having leakage or you're not maintaining 90%. So what happens is the outside of the mushroom, the fiber body, is beginning to dry in the drier air. And yet it's still pumping up new growth through the fibers. It's still coming. And as that new fresh growth is still coming, it hits this dried spot, and instead of it being wet and flexible where it can keep growing with you, it starts to split because you're continuing to grow and it's dry. So it splits. Now that it's split, what can we do to fix it? Okay? Yeah, they're saying I need more moisture in the air, not on the surface, because I don't have roots. I need more moisture in the air. You've dried me out I feel like I'm at the beach. The mushroom cake block may be moist enough, but the outside air on the block is too dry. You're probably below 80% humidity. This means that your mushroom needs to maintain a higher humidity. That's why using fruiting chambers as closed environments, tubs, bags, is such a good idea because we can maintain the humidity. The sharp difference between required humidity and the low humidity that's actual in the mushroom itself causes a fast evaporation rate, a moisture loss, and the mushroom begins to dehydrate on the outside. Moisture loss also occurs due to frequent and aggressive fanning. Too much fanning. This one's really simple. Most of the time, if you're doing too much fanning, what happens after? What are you supposed to do after you fan? You're supposed to re-mist to replace the humidity that you've escaped while you've done your fanning. You're supposed to re-mist. If you fan a lot, sometimes we forget to mist, we close it back up, boop, we've just dried the whole thing out. We've just went in there and created the Mojave Desert in the air. There's a second strong reason for splitting. It's usually going to be humidity. You're going to know it's humidity. If you notice, go back and look at that picture of my bag. There's no water or there's no moisture inside on the walls of the bag. The bag itself looks dry. I know that's a humidity issue. I still have to figure that out, and we're working on it. And it's one whole shelf. The rest of them are working out okay. Seems to me I might have an FAE humidity blockage spot somewhere in the room. I might have to move my bags around more. There's another cause for the splitting, and that is high temperatures. Again, that speaks to dryness. You're supposed to be around a 74, maybe a 75 inside your grow chambers. Fruiting time. Get up into the 80s, and you'll start seeing your fruit crack all over the place. Go crack-a-dackle-do. And it won't last very long. So you have to watch your humidity. If I'm cracking, let me go in and check my humidity. Am I in the high 70s, low 80s? And bring it back down. Okay? So that's a second reason. There's a third reason. And this is one you don't think of very often, but I'm starting to think of it for myself. And I'm going to have to investigate. We're going to have to do a little bit better job scientifically right now is how we're starting bags. Because we're doing kind of a willy-nilly because there's so many and we're just, boom, making it happen. I haven't been doing a good job of tracking my genetics. Which shrooms am I cloning to start more plates? Which generation am I on? I'm probably gonna have to go back into some ground zero and start with a brand new clone culture, a new ghost culture, and really watch how I'm colonizing them. The reason being, some of our cracking and splitting is genetics. It's actually in the genetic of the mushroom. Nothing I can do about it. It's going to happen. It's going to crack at the end of the grow. Some mushrooms are triggered by sharp changes or improper fruiting conditions. We just discussed those. Certain genetic mutations are already present in cells. Genetic mutations. They're in there from the very beginning. You've seen these kind of mushrooms. They're already in there. Wasn't because you had bad humidity, wasn't because of your temperatures, but it was because it's in the genetic representation. You'll often see it in the phenotypes as well. Here's peanut envy does it. We think this is actually a mutation issue. Mushroom cap cracked due to genetic mutation. Okay? So you'll get them for that too. If cracked caps are really bothering you, go back and check your genetics too. Do they really bother me that much? Nah. I would prefer to not see them at the end of the day, but they don't bother me that much. How to fix a cracked mushroom. Now that I have it, what can I do about it? How can I fix it? Super glue. They make a mushroom super glue. It's on the market now. We'll have it on our site soon. You can go in there and you can put in just a little bit of mushroom super glue in the crack and then hold it together for like less than a second, maybe a second, put a little pressure, and you can push that crack together, and then voila, you'll look at it later on and you can barely tell. Okay? It's like a mushroom super glue made from super spores. Okay, it's called Mycomend. Okay, I don't know, File 13's calling it Sporilla glue. Yeah, that could be Sporilla glue. Okay? All right? Just lace a little bit of the Sporilla glue in the mush fix. Billy D, no, it's not for real. We're so full of it over here. No, there's no such thing as Mycomend. Sporilla glue, no. If there, would you want to eat it after putting some? Let me put a little super glue on the cap, and then I'll eat it. No, there's nothing you can do about it. No. What's the answer? How to fix mushroom cracking? No, glue's not the answer. Okay? Exceptions like he believed you. I know. You cannot fix it. It has already happened. However, it is possible to prevent it in future flushes. Okay? Pay attention. Put the Sporilla glue. Gosh, you guys are funny. Okay. The best way to make sure that it doesn't happen in the future is to track your fruiting parameters. Make sure your CO2 levels are good. Make sure your pH is over 90 and your temperatures are in the mid to low 70s. Okay? To sum it up, wait. Oh, listen to this. Pay attention. If cracked caps and split stems have a color change inside them, yellow, brown, gray, black, or they have spotting or necrotic symptoms, abnormal deformations, that can be a sign of contamination on that cap or on that shroom. So here's a whole nother world. Pops, if I have a shroom that's starting to get contaminated, the shroom itself, and it's beginning to show signs of contamination, is that shroom still edible? And will it hurt me? I don't like answering that question. It's not my, I'm not, I don't want to be responsible for the answer. In your world. My world won't worry about it for 1 second. It really won't. That mushroom, I'm not going to eat it raw. I'm going to end up dehydrating it. So there's going to be some kind of a change in the actual fungus that's in, that contamination. And then I also know this, and not to bother anybody, I eat fungus every day in some form or another. You should see my refrigerator. Eating fungus on fungus isn't necessarily scary to me. But again, I don't know exactly what kind you're talking about. I don't know what the contamination is. I don't know the rate. I don't know. So my answer is, I don't know. I let you figure that out for yourself. Okay? Most of the time, if the fruit looks pretty decent still, I'm gonna dry the hell out of it. And I'll probably end up grinding it. So no matter what, that stuff's getting spread all around. So, to sum it up, mushroom splittings and crackings are neither a contamination nor a disease, and mushrooms that are cracked are usually safe to consume. Check your fruiting parameters, relative humidity, temperature, fresh air exchange, etc. All of these factors should coincide and be balanced. And then it says, if you find this guide helpful, blah, blah, blah. So we discussed that this morning. We discussed, because I'm in the middle of dealing with cracked caps, I thought it would be a worthy discussion this morning. Tomorrow we're going to finish up our discussion of spores. We're going to talk about just general information, recap everything we know. We're going to also talk about how to make a spore print. Did you know there's a history of spore prints? There's a guy that's like the father of spore prints. So there's this whole, we'll learn that a little bit together. And then tomorrow we'll be done with spore prints. And then starting Thursday, we'll say, we learned everything we can know about spores. We learned about their meiosis, their mitosis. We learned about where they come from, how they generate. We learned about how they move, how they sporulate. We learned about Buller, the Einstein of mycology. We learned all of this spore stuff. Now what? Next thing, what do we do with spores in mycology next? What's our next step? And we'll start that on Thursday. Sound good? That's our lesson plan for this week. Good? 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 Sounds good. I need 3 people for the board. I need 3 people for the board for Friday. We're going to spin the wheel on Friday and do a couple of big giveaways. I need to get 3 people up there. Okay? The first 3 people to answer this question, I'm going to ask one question. It has one answer. The first 3 people are going to get a spin-off. One of those people will move forward. Last week, I kept track of all of the people that were on the wheel last week. We had 12 people on the wheel last week. I'm not going to put those people on the wheel this week. 3 of those people won one over a half ounce by the time it was mailed. So I had 3 people last week out of 12. I'm just saying, if you were even spinning last week, I'm not going to put you on the spin wheel this week. I'd like to get 12 freshies to go on the wheel this week. So please understand, it's not personal and it's not anything against anybody. It's me trying to expand the prize pool. So if you were on the spin wheel last week, we're going to have to replace you with somebody else this week. All right? I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to get 3 freshies. And the freshies, one of those freshies is going to move forward to the freshie round. Okay, thanks for understanding, you guys. Thank you so much. Here's the question. First 3 people that answer it on my screen will get to spin. What does an anemometer measure? Anemometer. Go. Good morning, Mom. What does an anemometer measure? All right, I have 3 people. I have 3 people that got it. I have 3 people that got it. They weren't exact, but it's close. An anemometer measures wind speed. Measures the speed of the wind. One person said airflow, speed of, that's good enough for me. They didn't have to say wind. It's the speed of airflow. Anemometer. The first 3 people to get it on my screen and then are spinning to get to the big spin. Justin OK Med Rosie. Justin, you're going to be number 1. CCS. CCS, you're number 2. And James C. James Caraccio, you're number 3. Here we go. Number 1, Justin OK Med Rosie. Okay, let's see. Justin. Excuse me. Justin did not make it to the wheel last week, so we have no problem putting Justin on the wheel this week. No problem whatsoever. Justin, you're on the wheel for Friday. You have to be here to win. Okay? Do we want to do that one more time? Should we do that one more time, you guys? Let me just ask a question. One simply. Okay, let's do another one. The first 3 people to get this correct are going to get a spin to go to the big win. What instrument does billionaire philanthropist Warren Buffett play? Go. Please don't look these up. Don't look them up because that doesn't really make you smart or smarter than anybody. Don't look them up. Just guess. Just guess if you don't know. Looking it up's kind of shady. So far, I haven't seen anybody get it right. So far, nobody's right. I can tell you the closest one of what I see up here is the banjo, but it's not a banjo. No. Okay, well, don't cheat. Thanks, Matt, for admitting it. Don't look it up. I'll know if everybody starts answering it now correctly, because that gave you time to look it up. So far, I've only got one person has it correct. One person. Oh, all of a sudden we have more. Okay. Okay. We got 3 people. We actually had 4, but James C., I'm not going to include you in this spin because you were included in the last spin. The answer is a ukulele. Ukulele. Warren Buffett plays the ukulele. The first 3, James Caraccio was in the first 3, but he just spun, so I'm moving past him. And we're going to do B. Hendricks. B. Hendricks, you're number 1. Kylie, you're number 2. And Streety, you're number 3. Streety it is. Streety, I'm moving you forward to the big spin on Friday. That's fun. That's easy. That's an easy way to get you guys going here. Get our brains working together. Learning together. Okay? Good job. Good job. Do me a favor in the future, and just like now, don't look up these answers. Doesn't make it fun. Just makes it be fastest thumb wins. And then there's a bunch of people out there that are on their only device. So they basically don't have a chance. Okay? Let's move to our book, The 4 Agreements. I'm about to read the page, two of the pages that are probably, no joke, probably my favorite in the whole book, out of all the books, out of all the agreements, all the pages. We're on page 31. Those of us that have the book and can follow along. Page 31. Let's see what the word impeccability means. Impeccability means without sin. Impeccable comes from the Latin peccatus. Peccatus. The word peccatus in Latin means to sin. In Latin, if you put I am in front of the word, you're now saying the opposite. Without. I am means remove. So if I am impeccable, that's sin. Impeccable, without sin. Sin removed. Oh, it says right here. The I am in impeccable means without. So impeccable means without sin. Okay? I'll give you another example. It happens in our language all the time. What's it mean to mediate? What's it mean? It means you sit around, you think about it. You might even discuss it. You mediate the issue, the topic, the conversation. Right? But then if you tell somebody, hey, I need you immediately. I need you without all the conversation. I need you without all of the mediation. I need you without mediation. It's immaterial to me. Well, if it's material to me, it's really important. When something's immaterial to me, it's without importance. You will find the I am in front of words a lot in our language. And it's fun to know what these parts of our language mean. Impeccable means without sin. Religion talks about sins and sinners. But let's understand what it really means to sin. I talked to this one last year. I'm going to briefly hit it again. There's a history to the word sin. And then we'll read what he says here. Back in the day when I would... sin is something that we as humans have turned into guilt and shame. We've turned sin into all these other things, linear things that we were taught. We even have different kinds of sins. We have white lie sins. We have black ones. Oh, they're the worst. We have mortal sins, venial sins. We have sins that can be forgiven. We have sins that can't be forgiven. We categorized all this stuff. That's not for 1 second is the concept of sin. The concept of sin has nothing to do with any of that. It has no judgment in it. It has no right and wrong. It has no heaven and hell. It has no burning. And it has no heavenly angels. That's not what sin is. Sin is, I'm a marksman. I shoot arrows for a living back in the day, before gunpowder. I shoot with a bow. And when I'm in an army and I'm an archer in the army, I'm getting trained. Obviously, if I'm an archer, one of my jobs is to hit the target. If I don't hit the target, they're going to take the bow away from me, and they're going to put me on the front lines, and I'm going to have to go just be a regular infantryman. But if I want to be one of the elite guys and I get to stand up there and I get to shoot arrows at people, I got to prove I can hit the mark. So I practice. So I go to the archery range. I have to qualify in order to make the team, the archery team, the archery squad in the Army. So now I have to qualify. Okay, so what do? I stand on the line. The target's way out there. In archery, most marksmanship stuff, the target isn't called a target. It's called a butt. Don't get carried away, Jesus Christ. It's a B-U-T-T. We're shooting at the butt. Some kind of a straw bale, some kind of a target, can, bottles, something like that. But if you're in archery and you've got your target, it's usually on some sandbags or a bale of straw, and they call that a butt. Okay? I'm just teaching you archery terms. That's all this is, simple archery terms. My archer, he's going to pull back and he's going to shoot. Arrow flying through the air is going. Archery's tough because it's not like archery. You have to do a bunch of stuff. Am I right? You have to calculate in the ballistic of the arrow, the flight path, wind, all kinds of calculations to get that arrow into the target. A lot harder, actually, than a gun, just because of the speed of the projectile, even though you got to worry about windage there. So now you're an archer guy. You're out there, and you're qualifying. My arrow's heading towards the target, heading towards the target, heading towards the target. Misses. I don't hit a single ring. I miss completely. In archery, that's called a sin. S-I-N. Sin. There's a guy up there looking, because I can't tell from where I shot. There's a guy up there looking at the butt to see where I hit. He might yell out, bullseye, if I hit the mark. He'll yell out, sin, if I miss the mark. He didn't tell me I'm going to hell. He didn't say one word other than bad shot. Missed it. I'm an archer. I got to do one thing, two things. Try again or quit. Blame the wind. Throw a fit. Tell everybody I'm going to hell. Have guilt. Shame. Go lay on my couch and have depression and anxiety. I can do all of those things instead. Got a terrible shot. I'll never make it. Or I can just shoot again. We weren't taught shoot again. It's not what we were taught. It's not the rules of this planet, the dream of this planet. The dream of the planet doesn't say, it's not a big deal, you missed the mark. Who expects you to hit it the first time? I don't expect you to hit it the first time. I just want you to have good form. I want you to come back tomorrow and I want you to try again. There's no shame in missing. We got taught that. Sinner! You're a sinner in the hands of an angry God. Actually, I'm not. I'm a human. And I'm working out my dreams and my agreements. The guy that misses, that was impeccable. The guy that's hitting the mark every time, he's an impeccable shot. He can't miss. He never sins. He never misses. Religions talk about sins and sinners, but let's understand what it really means to sin. That's my idea of sinning. I picture the archer. I'm simply an archer. I'm simply an archer. I don't blame myself for missing. Unless I do this. Sometimes you're an idiot if you're going like, okay, I'm going to take my shot now, and you turn and you point right at another guy and you shoot at him deliberately. Well, that's not even a sin anymore. That's called gossip. Good morning, MVP. Do you get the difference? It's not even a sin anymore. Sin was an accidental, not accidental. I'm shooting for a target and I miss. A sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. Everything you feel or believe or say that goes against you is a sin. I really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. You're missing your mark. When you lie, you're doing it against yourself. You know the truth. You're choosing to lie. You're doing it against yourself. When you gossip, when you hurt someone's feelings deliberately, that's a sin. And you're really not even doing it against the person. You're doing it against yourself first. You know when you really sin? You know when you really sin? Those are, if we want to talk about big sins, small sins, when you really sin is when you judge yourself. How big a mark are you missing there? When you feel guilt and shame, those are the real sins. We have it backwards in our religious cultures. Well, if we teach them what the sin is and they feel guilt, they won't keep doing it. You just created a cycle of guilt, shame, therefore sin. There's no way out of that cycle. Not that the religion minds. Most religions want you stuck in their cycle. It's economically prosperous to be so. Being without sin is the exact opposite. Being impeccable is not going against yourself. He's mean. He told me no. That's not impeccable. He kept his own honor to himself. He had a reason to say no. He has boundaries. He has responsibilities. He has rights and reasons. And if he said no in an impeccable manner, he's not going against himself. You're allowed to say no. Being impeccable is not going against yourself. When you are impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions. You tell the whole crowd, I'm 4 to 5 days late on shipping. You take responsibility. Even the small acts. People out there waiting for packages 3-5 days. That's impeccable. I didn't make it. You know how bad I could sit around feeling, oh, part of the time I'm guilty of pressure, anxiety, my friends are going to think I'm like this. Instead, I'm like, you know what? Couldn't make it. Got to tell. Got to go today. That's impeccable. Small little acts. They keep you clear. They keep you straight and focused. Keep you hitting your mark. My mark for myself is that I make sure I mail every day, that nobody waits for packages. When they're sitting there for 4 or 5 days, it's impeccable of me to be accountable for that. I know that sounds small and what is he talking about? That's just how I keep myself straight. And it's funny. It used to be big stuff. All the big stuff's handled now. Now I'm down to just working on little stuff because you know what I mean? When you don't have a lot of big stuff hanging over your back anymore because you've handled it, because you did, because you were impeccable about it and all the big stuff. I'm down to little stuff now. That feels so good, Hags. Now I'm down to, did I tell the truth? From this concept, from this perspective, the whole concept of sin changes from something moral or religious to something common sense. Impeccable is common sense. Of course it's going to make me feel better if I keep my word to myself. It's common sense. Real sin begins with rejection of yourself. That I'm not good enough talk you do. That I'm depressed talk that you do. That I'm anxious talk that you do. All of it changes with one action. Don't sin against yourself. You're not allowed to say those things about yourself to yourself anymore. We're not allowed. You get put on timeout. Are there things that your kids say to each other they're not allowed to? Butthead, you're a monkey butt. What do you do to them when they're doing it? What do you do to the kids to each other when they're not being impeccable to one another? We used to get our ass kicked by our parents. Good old belt. That shut us up real good. Somewhere along the line when I was in my teens, they started doing timeouts. I was like, damn, I missed the timeout stuff. I wish I would have been raised during timeouts. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know where the generation changed, where we're getting strapped? Or all of a sudden you can't do that. You just got to put Charlie in a timeout. Well, how long? Charlie, go stand in the corner. Charlie won't even stand in the corner. Remember dunce caps? Do you remember a dunce cap? Whoever saw a dunce cap in one of their classes? I'm not kidding you, it was on the teacher shelf. Timeouts. Dunce caps. We wore dunce caps if you were the kid that didn't bring in the homework on time. Freaking dunce cap in the 60s. You put a dunce cap on a kid today, you're doing 10. You're doing 10 in Atticus. Okay? The back of my knuckles hurt so bad from Sister Teresa. Wooden ruler. Collap! One year she used a yardstick. The ruler was too small. What are your kids saying to each other in the home? It's your job to teach them not to do that. That's not impeccable. Sin begins with the rejection of yourself. Self-rejection, self-loathing, self-misunderstanding, self-criticism. They're all the biggest sin you could commit. In religious terms, self-rejection's a mortal sin. It's a sin that leads to death. Impeccability, on the other hand, leads to life. Being impeccable with your word is not using your word against yourself. If I see you in the street and I call you stupid, it appears I'm using the word against you. But really, I'm using the word against myself. You're going to hate me for it. You're hating me for it's not good for me. I'll get angry because you hate me. My word was the thing that sent all the emotional poison in the first place. I guess I used the word against myself. The minute we say negative comments to another person, we're literally saying it against ourselves. If I love myself, just one more minute here. If I love myself, I will express that love in my interactions with you. And I'll be impeccable with my word. Because that action, ask Kim what happens. Actions produce like actions. If I'm treating you with love and impeccability, you'll do the same to me. That's why tea's growing. I'm not joking. You guys sit here and you treat me. Why it's easy to be here every single day. You treat me with love and impeccability. I do it back. That's what flows back and forth here. We don't sit here and call each other creepy names and make fun of each other and tell each other how crappy we are. And then feel sorry for each other and tell each other how to stay in anxious states. We don't do that. So it's the interaction. It's an impeccable interaction. It's one where we even come here and tell truths you didn't even know yet. Nah, didn't get the packages out yet. Do you think you guys didn't have a right to know that? People that are sitting there checking their tracking since Friday? You didn't have a right to know that? I'm supposed to pretend, oh, everything's fine. That doesn't make me feel impeccable. Little things now I'm working on. The more we practice, the smaller the stuff we're working on gets. We'll carry on with this conversation some more tomorrow. We're running out of time. We'll qualify some more people for the wheel tomorrow, maybe even do a little quick giveaway. Thank you for being here today, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love this group, and I love what we're doing together. We're learning, or laughing our butts off. We're learning, and we're loving. And you have a place that you can go. Who was it wrote to me yesterday? Was it yesterday? It might have been SSW here. It was someone else too. Alan. It was Alan. He wrote to me, he goes, I finally have friends. I finally have friends. Because not that I don't know people or have. He goes, do you know that afterwards I talk to other people here? People talk to me for the first time in my adult life. People are talking to me and considering me. First time in my adult life that the relationship wasn't based off of what could I get for myself out of this person. There's a lot of beautiful relationships here. Thank you. Let's keep them growing this year. Pops out. Let me scroll you guys out of here. Hip Kitty and SSW. And Marky Z and Larry B. There you are, Larry. And Justin OK. You're a Med Rosie. Crystal, I love you being here. Penny Pack. It sounded like Alan, right? Marky and Kylie and Gasly and Mike and Jackie. Meow Kitty and Higgs. It's super amazing. Mr. Phillips and Kimberly Bolden. Gathering of the Wacko Weirdos. File 47 with a minus 34. King Metro. Whiskey, I love you. Maddie, thanks for being honest today. Cleany and Jackie and Herbie Von Worry Kebab. Higgs. Mikey B. Hendricks. Jesus Christ in Australia. There's my buddy. Grady and Kyle and Exception. Exception, have an exceptional day. Anthony, keep hunting. Gasly, I don't think you are. Anthony the Big Man Thornton. I love your posts. Kyle and Tony T. and Cleany. Cleany's my bud. Jesus Christ and Sling Sling. And Kingy and Calico Kid. Feel like he's a cowboy or something. Mike Barble. Evan, you're on cue, bro. McCleany and Larry B. and Tiffany. I love Tiffany. Herbie and Jackie and Billy D. Billy D, glad to have you here. Whiskey and Mushmouth. Mushy, it's in the mail. Today, I'll put it in the mail. P. Laura, Mark Z. Buddy and Laura. Laura, hey, Laura. Have a divine day. Eric Falkenberg and the Waz and File 13. And Hit Me Out, Kitty and Lexington and Bobby Johnson. And Tony Laughlin and SSW and JC. And Kylie. And Deborah the Pearl. And Mike Baraball and JC and Hippie. And Anthony and Jesus and Free. There's my guy. Streety. Got a ride soon. Daniel C. and Herbs and R&R. Michael, there you are. Jolie, I love Jolie. Mark and Z and Bill D. File 13. Travis Howell. Jimmy all the way to the max. Mike Barabal, and then there's Juan Tiffer. Juan Tiller, arrivederci. Have a beautiful day, you guys. Go be kind, go be in love.